Okay. I just started recording, and for the record, this conversation and this meeting is recorded and is going to be uploaded to YouTube. So anything that you say might stay somewhere in the history forever. All right, let's start. So we have a few items that we want to discuss. One is, if we go with the same order that you have in the spreadsheet, we can start with equivalence cache. Harry, you are here, I guess. Do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, as you have seen that the pull request can be sent, and we have passed the first round of review. But as we mentioned, we are thinking about how to move equivalent cache to another package, so we don't need to leak some predicate logic to cache. And we actually discussed about whether we can use metadata to pass equivalent cache info to the predicate phase. But I noticed that currently the metadata is shared by all nodes, which is a blocker because our equivalent cache right now is per node.
So say that again. So you said that the cache isn't shared and it's a blocker?
No, I mean the metadata is shared by all nodes.
I see.
But the equivalent cache is per node. So it's not easy right now to pass equivalent cache information by using metadata.
Yes, but I guess if you pass the whole cache,
if we pass the whole cache, we will have to face the global lock problem. So I would like to pass the per node eCache to the predicate, but the metadata itself is shared by all nodes.
No, I'm thinking along the lines of passing the whole cache, and each predicate knows what node it's basically running the predicate on, right? So the node is also passed to the predicate.
Yeah.
So if we have the logic in the cache itself, in the eCache itself, that provides like guaranteed safety, thread safety, it should work, right?
I'm worried about that. You have to access the global cache in the metadata, which we have to lock it globally, at least a read log.
Yeah, maybe we're thinking about the solution in two different ways. We can follow up on that and
yeah, I'd like to comment there, mention about some alternative approach.
Okay.
You can take a look.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I had so many PRs to take a look these days. And sorry if I'm a little slow on responding to all of them.
That's all right.
I will take a look though. This is actually important for us. All right, so that's one thing. Actually, recently I believe, let me look at this again. So there is some information about, I believe it was Connor who asked us to add, or maybe someone, to add bin packing priority function for scale resources, resources like node attached accelerators. So Sudesh wanted to speak about that. You have the time now to tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of data scientists. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of data scientists who are having with using like accelerators, for example, like GPUs or something like that, while submitting machine learning jobs on top of Kubernetes. So they are facing fragmentation issues when they see that there are 4 accelerators present, but they are not able to use because they're present on 2 different nodes. So we kind of built an scheduler extender which does bin packing for these accelerators, and we were hoping that is it like reasonable enough to move this as a default like a optional priority function inside the default scheduler.
Sure. If you can tell me a little bit more about it. So how is it implemented? Is it like an extended resource or? How do you
Yeah,
announce
right
it?
now we are just using it as an extended resource. Like if you specify any extended resources, it'll calculate how much every node uh, has the amount of extended resources, and it applies the best fit algorithm on top of it. So it will suggest, give a node score to those nodes, higher node score to those nodes which have like a better fit for that extended resource.
Mhm. So, and then how do you define the scarce or scarcity? Is it something that the priority function finds out itself?
Right now, we have given it as an optional. Whenever you deploy the extended scheduler, you define which is a scarce resource. So then it works on that resource especially.
I see. And then have you also thought about interoperation between something, a priority function like this that does best fit versus our own spreading priority functions that tries to spread replicas of a job or a replica set or whatever?
Y- Yeah, so there is an option like giving like weights to every priorities, so they can define like if you give similar weights to spreading and bin packing, and if you have like a one GPU job and you have two GPU, it'll try to still spread it because they both have equal priorities. But if you get higher weights to bin packing, then we'll try to bin pack over scheduling.
So, okay, so it sounds fine to me. The priority function is, of course, going to be disabled, I assume, by default.
Yeah.
But one more, actually, okay, so one more thing that I would like to understand. So you were saying that the problem is that there is a node, for example, with 4 GPUs, right?
Yeah.
And then you have like one pod that uses some of those GPUs.
Yeah.
And you are seeing that some of the other pods that need GPUs remain pending. Is that why you want to have best effort? Best
Yeah,
fit?
I can actually share something which I've done. So like a diagram to explain more properly. Maybe
Okay.
that will help.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead if you have it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is, you can take it as a default case, like you have four resources and two resources, and you have a job spec, which is like first job spec requires two resources, second one requires four, third one requires four.
Okay, now I got it. All right. Yes.
Yeah, so the first one goes to the four node, and then it's a pending state. And since these are machine learning jobs, they run for a long time, and you're facing issues.
Yeah, this is reasonable. Sure, we can actually have it in the scheduler. So you want to upstream it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, please send us the PR. We may need to massage it a bit here and there, or make little changes here and there, but generally it sounds reasonable to me. Klaus, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think that's okay. That's okay to me.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Do you have anything else to add, Sudesh, or?
No, that's it for now.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. All right, let's go back to our other items. So tainting node by condition, we faced a recent error, a recent bug in tainting node by condition. I guess it's caused by the fact that an unreachable node is not properly tainted by node lifecycle controller. Wei has sent a PR to address that problem. We think that it's also causing a side effect in one of our auto scaling tests. Wei, if you have any further updates, please go ahead and share with us.
Yeah, I think the problem right now is if taint node by condition is enabled, and if the node is kind of lost in network connectivity, so we didn't taint the node properly. Yeah. So that caused the further workload still schedule onto that lost node. So that is kind of unacceptable. So the solution we like to propose is that we apply the unreachable taint with no schedule effect, which is kind of not conflict with current, that feature is called taint evict, blah, blah, I can't remember the full name, but it's alpha feature in 1.12. So if that feature is enabled, unscheduled taint with no execute effect will be enabled. So we just differentiate the two effects, but on the same key.
So I didn't quite get the last part that you said. You said that there are, of course, we have like two different effects for taints. One is no schedule, preventing pods to be scheduled, further pods to be scheduled on a particular node, and then we have also no execute. No execute causes no schedule, plus the fact that existing pods on a node are also getting evicted. So you were saying that you are going to apply a taint with no schedule in case that a node is unreachable?
Yes, true.
Sure. But I actually left a comment on the PR, probably you've seen, but I didn't actually go back and look again to see if you have replied. But one of the issues is that I guess unreachable taint is expected to be a no execute taint, meaning that when a node becomes unreachable, existing pods should get evicted.
And that is based on the alpha feature evict.
I see.
Evict blah blah is enabled, right?
I see. So taint-based eviction. I see.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And that's going to stay as an alpha feature in 1.12.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sure. That sounds fine to me.
And another thing is that it actually breaks one of the tests. It's not flaky. It's just that in some of the tests, it doesn't run the kubelet. It just write an API object like localhost to the API server so that we suppose there is a node. And by that case, but the node lifecycle manager still works, so it treated the node as kind of status on node, so that the behavior is that we try to apply the taint to the fake it node in the test cases, and some of the test cases expect that there's no taint in the node, so that right now some of the test is failed. So I'm looking.
How many of such tests exist? Are they a lot or?
Just one.
Just one? Okay, then if you are certain that it's the test problem, we can fix the test.
Yeah, maybe fixing the test is fine.
Yeah.
Because in a real case, we don't have this kind of problem, right? We kind of it's kind of have a node, but there's no kubelet running at all.
Yeah. Yes, I think for unreachable for your task, for your fix, I think that's reasonable, because even in the scheduler, we should not schedule the pod to a fake node, right? I think yes, for the behavior, that is correct. But we need to confirm with the task. I think I just see the comments this morning. The task is from kube CPL, kube control, right?
Yeah, the owner says the maintainer is CLI. Yeah.
Yes, I think we need to confirm with them whether this is okay. We give a fix to test. If this if this just have some if our fix will not break the behavior or purpose or their purpose, I think that's fine to have a fix to the test.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Klaus, your turn about gang scheduling.
Yeah. For the gang scheduling, I think I do some prototype about the queue, and I see Wish gave a comments about whether we should consider have do some work in the admission to for the transaction. I think I will put some time for that option to see if that is doable. And for the API part, I think we are going to use the annotation for the group name in the pod for the alpha feature right now. So I think I don't get more comments about the API definition. I will confirm with the others. I suppose you are okay with the API definition, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I need to confirm with Legit and Wish to see if there are any more comments about the API part. And I will do some work, maybe some prototype or some research about Wish suggestion about the transaction within for the gun scheduling. Yeah, I will leave some comments here.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking whether we can give a separate pull request or separate design document to get the API maybe merge or get API ready for 1.12.
That sounds great. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would be great if we can have like a alpha version of the API in one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Image locality priority. So I know that image locality priority, we have some issues with the test because the test images are not uploaded to GCR.io. I was able to upload some of the images, but not the top level item in the GCR.io. I tried many times reaching Jeff with the ID of IXDY on GitHub to upload the images for us, but Jeff was out of office for several days, and then when he came back, I tried to reach him again, but he was not responsive. Anyway, I will try again, but please feel free to ping him on GitHub as well. If there is any further updates from Harry or other folks, please let us know. Is there anything else that we should know about image locality function?
Responded recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he thinks that the image you want to upload is huge. So yeah, it's
is
like
that a problem?
He thinks it is a problem because that image is only used for this test.
I see.
So he thinks
How large is it? How large is this?
Currently it's 3 gigabytes.
Okay, yeah. What if we drop it to like a gigabyte or something? Is it not going to be enough?
I don't know. I have left a comment to ask if we can use the 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabyte. I will see how he responds.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. There is some effort on finishing or finalizing the pod scheduling policies. I've been working with Yassine and Team All Clear on this. It's getting there almost. So we have some little things to finalize regarding the matching and how these policies are matched against pods, but it's almost there. If you are interested, you can take a look at the PR. It's in our spreadsheet as well as in our notes, meeting notes. So that's about it. If you have any questions, you can ask. All right, next item is scheduling daemons at pods by default scheduler. I guess we are pretty much there. Is there any blocker or other issues that we are facing with that?
There's one minor one is that it seems if we call them a node, a temp is added as expect the scheduled temp. But internally, in the daemon set controller logic, internally there is a simulate function, but it seems in the simulate function, they don't add the toleration onto the daemon set paths when doing the calculation. Say how many paths should be running on how many nodes. So it kind of, but in the last step, I think one of the classes PR applies the on-schedule toleration onto the paths, but internally, so the path wasn't created. For example, there are 2 nodes, but actually only one path was launched. So I think that is a minor
it's
issue.
really hard to fix, right? It's just enough.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. You just add a fix in the simulate function. I think that is one minor issue we came across.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have a PR there for this?
I will raise one tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
And by the way, I think middle next month there will be the code freeze. Maybe I think
Yes.
so. So I'd like to kind of enable this feature to beta in the massive launch if you don't object.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have only 10 days basically before the code freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So please, if you have PRs, please send them as soon as possible, and please ping me. Don't be shy.
Okay.
Please ping me on Slack or whatever to take a look.
Sure,
and also Klaus as well. And we have more approvers now. Actually, Ravi is an approver now. Ravi can help with reviewing and approving them. Jonathan or Mr. Kit, his ID on GitHub, is also a reviewer. He can review codes for you. Actually, he's a very good reviewer. I like his ideas about like code structure and code constructs in Go. Definitely use his vision and thoughts for your PRs. You will learn a lot from him as well.
Sure, exactly. I will do that tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you. So, yes, Ravi, descheduler. We spoke about descheduler, but it's good if we hear from you, so other people are also aware of the updates. We don't hear you.
Am I audible?
Very faint.
Okay, let me try increasing the volume.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry for missing the initial part of the meeting. Regarding descheduler, I spoke to Derek, who is part of the steering committee. So the idea is to move descheduler out of incubator repo and put it in the SIG scheduling or the SIG sponsored repos. I have sent out an email to the SIG scheduling group. So the way forward now is everyone needs to, like, who are actively working in this group needs to give a +1, saying that it is good to go. If you're fine with it, then we can actually get started on moving the.
Okay. So I guess Derek has responded and said that there is no graduation really, so we just need to move the repo.
That is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not called graduation.
Question. Move repo to where?
So we used to have these like incubator, like Kubernetes /incubator something.
Yeah.
But now that has changed. We are moving things under the SIG under a SIG repo.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So
Kubernetes
we want to move this. This is basically I was kind of expecting this to be moved as like a standard component, which is maybe not enabled, sort of like an alpha component of Kubernetes. Which is basically going to get shipped with the rest of Kubernetes, but not enabled by default. But looks like we are not going to do that, at least in this quarter or with this release. Is that right, Ravi?
Yes, Bobby.
Yeah.
The other thing is we need approval from SIG architecture if you want to move to core, like core Kubernetes repo.
Yeah. So, given that we are very close to the code freeze, and this is like a huge, I cannot say huge feature, but it's a component. It's more than just a feature in a small component or something. So it's a bigger effort, and it may impact clusters if we want to move it as a standard part of Kubernetes. So we need to give ourselves a little bit more time to ensure that the quality is there before we can move it to as a standard Kubernetes component. So let's shoot for the next release and try to really graduate it from incubator and become like a standard part of Kubernetes. We can work with the SIG architecture or whoever is responsible for making this call in the next quarter to make this happen.
So how do you envision descheduler being part of core component? Is it like a plugin, a priority function, or a predicate function, or how do you envision this?
So no, I was actually hoping that we can run it in parallel as a separate pod, really.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I don't know if it could stay in Kubernetes repo. If it's something like an add-on, which is staying outside of Kubernetes repo, then it should be somewhere else, like not in the core Kubernetes is what I think.
Why is that?
So since this is an optional add-on, like not many people may not need it. If someone wants it, then they can enable this. So it's like creating that pod on the fly if they need it.
Yes. So one issue with getting it from a separate location is that they will have to do extra steps and probably have to go and read some more documents and basically to find out where to get it, how to compile it, and stuff like that. If it's released as a part of Kubernetes images, then someone who gets the Kubernetes images will get this and in a compiled form as well.
Even if it
give it
is
some default configuration, right?
Yeah, so even if it is outside of core Kubernetes, living in a SIG sponsored repo, we could still release it as part of like main Kubernetes.
Right, that is true. Okay. So you guys prefer it to be like as a part of like to stay basically as an incubator project for now.
As an add-on, like we can move to a SIG sponsored repo, but we will let it stay there for some more time and say we are able to match the release cadence of Kubernetes along with the features that we want, because as of now, the features that we have are like there are only 3 or 4 features that we have in Descheduler, and it's mostly one strategy or one feature that people are always interested in using. So we need to get much more feedback from the users when it comes to if there are additional features they want. Like there are, but we need to prioritize them is what I think.
Okay. So yeah, well, maybe we are running out of time, so we cannot really expand this discussion to basically the details of the features that are needed there. But definitely, I'm interested in looking up things and discuss this further with you guys to see what features you are thinking about and what timelines you think we can have this as a part of Kubernetes standard components. I think it's useful still for many users, and especially those who run larger clusters probably would benefit from something like a Descheduler.
Sure. So the links that I have sent in the email that I've sent to the SIG scheduling mailing list, it has got some use cases coming from real people who have used it in large clusters. So at this point of time, I need some help or like voting in favor of the component moving to SIG sponsored repo.
Okay. Let's follow up on that thread then.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. These are all the things that we wanted to talk about. Is there any other questions or comments?
Hi, Bobby.
Hi, Leon.
For the PR, I submitted not split notes when searching for notes, but doing it on advanced. What other do you want to say? Or other things I need to modify? I will update it about your comment.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the PR. I guess, I don't know if you saw my latest comments, which I left like, I don't know, an hour ago or so. If it's there, I don't have any further updates. I will go ahead and LGTM.
I see the merging is blocked. Do you have plan to merge the last release version?
I mean, if you're talking about that merges block thing at the bottom of the PR, I guess that's a new thing that appears there. But I think after real GTM, it's gonna get merged.
Okay. I will continue working on it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Is there anything else? Okay, since we are out of time, let's finish the meeting. I'll see you folks, some of you folks, next week. Bye.
Okay, bye.